How's it going, guys? Don't know what happened there. That's very weird. So I just loaded back in. I have been playing with another character, so it's been a while since I've loaded up. Old Ed. And yeah. So we got a Bloodhound step, we got Assassin Teach, and we've been trying out the Millennius boss fight. It hasn't been going well, but I can at least show you how far along we've gotten. So, we've picked up the Ash of War Bloodhound step because it's really, really powerful. We switched. Ouch. And he's really good at getting away from her. In theory, with enough practice, I'll be able to use it to actually block. What do you call it? We just saw it there. Waterfowl dance? That's the goal, anyways. Because it is one of the most effective ways to do so. The only problem with doing that right now is you saw basically the flaw in my technique. I use the Bloodhound step too quickly, and I reach the edge of the arena before she finishes her combo. So she just catches up to me and kills me. So in theory, I should just be charging this attack. So the reason we chose her is because of that gray effect on the health bar. That's the same effect that you get in Malakath's boss fight. And it is really powerful. It's a really powerful way of denying her life gain. It doesn't deny all of it, but it denies like 3k damage, so she's not going to go back up to full HP while you're fighting her. Ouch. Yeah, I missed the timings again. So we'll do this one a little bit, and then we'll go over to Godfrey. We'll do him a little bit. And then, if I still have time left, I will go back to Crumbling Azula, because I have been made aware that there is another boss there in the lower regions that is difficult but worth fighting. A Dragon Lich, which seems really cool. Yeah, so the problem that I have with this setup is it's a bit dependent on a singular hand. So in my case, it's dependent on my left hand, which is my dominant hand, so I have a bit of an advantage there, but at the same time, it's just memorizing the dexterity to use it effectively. That's the challenge, and I don't know if I'm on par enough to do it yet. You might be wondering about the weird equipment too. That's because I was doing this. I was practicing this with the blood flies as well. So blood flies is a bleed approach to killing Melania, as opposed to like a pure magic damage. Bleed is effective against her, but I don't know. I can't really get the bleed to go off well without Mimic, because we're dead. I ran out of magicka, so the Bloodhound Step wasn't active, and when she flies up like that, I could, in theory, like get off a flask, and with the flask off, I'd have enough to Bloodhound Step out of it, but I'd still be backed up in a corner. I don't know the viability of it, honestly. Yeah, so I may start playing this game with another character too in my off time. In that character, I'm doing a face build. I'm not very far into the game. I've beaten like the first few bosses, but so Bloodhound Step is an astral war you get from defeating a specific knight's cavalry near Reyna's Rise. It's really powerful. It's just utilization that's our issue. It honestly might be our issue with most of the path we've come up with for biting Melania. I feel like we have the tools. It's just, can we actually pull it off? I don't know. I'm gonna do some summons, some people summons. So the reason I generally don't show this fight with people summons is because it's a little harder. Sure, we'll try him. It's easier to reach phase 3 because, in my experience, a lot of these people that are still here are here because they can farm the boss. Let's go. I'm out of mana. Fuck. Yep. Did not respond in time. I could try summon Spine with Swarm of Flies. And that could be fun. Although to pull off the full repertoire of summon of flies, you gotta use a rune arc because it also relies on using Borealis's Breath, Blooming Lotus, Consort Eternal, Beef McHuge, Niggle the Kind, Finley. I'll take Finley. So the benefits of this method is it's far less mana intensive. So there's still a chance that I'm just going to get to phase 2. So you can definitely see that I've practiced this method before. So Swarm of Flies also doesn't do very well in the second phase of the fight. That's a problem. Yeah. That's probably about as good as I can do if I'm being honest right now. That's probably where my skill level is capped. With 2 summons, mind you, which is a bunch of help. So with that in mind, we're gonna just move on to the next roadblock in our path. And then we'll finally go pick up the third roadblock after we let Godfrey kick us around a bit. So we summon Teach. I haven't actually used flies on Godfrey. Could be cool though. I haven't used Bloodhound Step on him either. So I'll probably switch back to my staff. Actually, I think I'll try. If I use a rune arc, can I use? I should be able to use Borealis's Breath. If I can use yeah, I can. That might make the fight a little more even. Because he seemed to have a good amount of resistance to blood loss. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, well, there's a rune arc down the drain. So I was jumping that pillar because I remembered that you can perform a glitch with that pillar. If I actually managed to get it, I wouldn't have actually used it, but I was curious to see if I could actually do the jump, which I now know I probably can't do the jump. It's one of those angled jumps where you jump around this pillar up onto there. So my new character has the Wondrous Physics Staff. It just doesn't do anything on my new character because I never put anything in it. I got greedy with flies. Greedy with flies. Something else I picked up that I actually kind of enjoy playing around with is Death Poker. Death Poker. Right, wrong one. Actually need it in... Yeah, no, this one. So, I don't actually use Death Poker in most fights because it actually... You can only have one Ash of War on your weapon, so it defaults to using the weapon in your right hand's Ash of War, which the only thing that's good about this weapon is it is Ash of War. Which it does have a good Ash of War. But I can never actually get a chance to use it. That was a very unsuccessful run. I'm 90% sure that Teach did like 4,000 of that damage. So we'll put the magic dagger back on. And we'll switch over to a staff. And just run our normal setup. So Star's Ruin, the reason we're still running it is because it's the fastest casting spell we got. I'm actually gonna run forward a bit before I let Tish out of the box so that hopefully her attack can actually hit. Yeah, that's what I wanted. So one of the things I got to get used to with this setup is that it's very FP intensive, which is generally not a problem we have to deal with. I might stick around on Godfrey for a bit longer. That run felt promising. Equipment, let's change things around. So there is a better Raven School talisman out there. We can find it, I know that much. Attack power isn't really on the table, so damage negation probably. Right, and I want to switch over to not Azur's, but Lestat's Crown, because that'll power up my sorcery. So we run forward about the halfway mark. Let Teach out of the bag. Misdodged it. So we did great damage. Godfrey feels more doable than Melania at the moment. But that was always going to be the case. I'm actually going to drink my physic. Ouch. Dude. I kind of messed up my hotbar there a bit. I'm going to rest at the side of Grace and fix the hotbars so that we don't do that again. So normally in boss fights it doesn't matter. As long as you got enough dexterity, you can have a couple of miscellaneous extras on your bar and it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have the 2 on my bar. And then down here, it's just going to be Teach the physic. And the flask. the result of this is that it's going to be harder to accidentally mess up our quick slots. Man, he is really going hard with that foot stomp. Like, he learned that it can get us, and he's like, yeah, that's cool. That was so close. I feel like we can do it. I'm gonna give this one another 15 minutes. Normally, these days, it's only given 30 minutes an episode. I feel like with another 15 minutes, I might be able to make some actual good headway. And who knows? If I feel that way again after 15 minutes, might just make it a classic episode. One step forward, two steps back. So maybe a Comet Azure opener just isn't worth it. Like, it felt really, really valuable on that, on the attempt where we got him down to 20%. But, like, as we saw there, like, if things don't line up well, he just counterattacks until you die. He just knows I'm bad at dodging that. Really? Would you stop, man? Well, I'm dead anyway, so... I will say, the biggest development from this little session here has been that Bloodhound Step is really good against his second form. Like, his second form, dodging it is kind of hard with the rolling, for me at least. But with Bloodhound Step, it's almost trivial to dodge him. Um, yeah, so we're going to use Wondrous Flask on Teach and a couple of Stars of Ruin. Really? Really? Maybe it was just good RNG. Because I know, at least with some bosses in the game, like Melania in particular, if you get good RNG, like she doesn't use her waterfowl downs once, she doesn't use any of her like broken combo moves, and then you can just stagger her until she dies. Like I don't doubt Godfrey's like that too in some ways. That if you get good RNG, he doesn't use too many AoEs, and he focuses on your summon, and then you don't really have to worry too much about like if I can have Bloodhound Step with Moonveil, that would make this fight stupid easy. I ran out of stamina there. Not stamina, FP. I see people saying like the cap for level should be like 150 for like PvP play, and it's like, how do you even get to level 150? Like, what are these guys doing in the game? Is there some easy runes out there? Like a boss that gives like 300k when you kill it with one stab? I don't see how you get to 150 throughout the course of a regular playthrough. Again, I can imagine some of it might just be grinding, but we're dead, Godfrey. For God's sakes, we're dead. It's a little insulting how often he just decides, hey, it's phase 2 time. And we are literally lying on the floor bleeding out. And he's like, why aren't you doing this? It's like, we're dead, Godfrey. For the love of God, we're dead. Please stop. So I wonder if the optimal play is to, like, is to charge up our stars? Or if it's just to spam it? He is relentless. And I know Radagon is going to be harder. And it makes me wonder if maybe I should just go out into the world and just find a way to get to 150. Like, an extra 32 points in Vigor might be the answer, or another 32 points in Mind. That was a really good attempt. See if we can get one more. I'm just going to switch to that staff. Actually, let's check out status. So our armament, yeah, it doesn't tell you. So at least that staff is in theory better. It's just a little hard to prove. I mean, I guess, friend. We have no right to win this fight. But we do. Aren't I a piece of shit? I mean, I was just talking about how there's no way to prove that that staff is better. I mean, it is better in raw damage. The only issue is it costs a lot. Like a lot extra mana. But we saw the benefit in damage there, right? Like, it was the difference between 13k damage for one charge hit to 2,200 charged hit. Like, that's a massive difference. Guess we just go back to using that staff. Mind. I need mind if I'm going to use that staff. Yeah, so it's another 20 levels. I would take another 20 levels of FP. So I'm gonna challenge Radagon once, just to get a feel for it. We won't beat him, I don't think. But this is the last boss in the game. Like, if we beat this boss and his second stage, we win the fight. The war is over. I was kind of disappointed to learn that there isn't a faith-based equivalent to, like, Lusat's staff or the Carrion staff. Like, there is no boss, seal. But for those of you who haven't been spoiled on that yet, Queen Markia is Radagon, and Radagon is Queen Markia. The lady we just saw fall down, she's the boss, and she is Radagon. Hence where the red hair comes in the family. He has seen better days, though. Hey, Teach. Gonna need you one last time. Ouch. It's a neat trick, I'll give you that. Well, there it is. That's as far as we're going to make it today. I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.